This show is clean.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Effizode 731. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcaster Valley, California. Today, Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer. Plus, it's the finale of my interview with the band from Benicia called Dead Cat Hat. And Facebook did something that will help them take over the world. Mike's Daily Podcast. And if you try and rhyme anything with the word world, you really only can come up with girls. Mike's Daily Podcast. Or Diamonds and Pearls. Or any other Prince song. Hey, I wanted to tell you that on yesterday's show, what the hell did we do? Oh yeah, we had Benita, right? And she said something really screechy in her high-pitched voice. But I don't mean to be so preachy. Wait a minute. Did that happen on yesterday's show? No, it was Madame Rootabega. Mike's Daily Podcast. She said that she wasn't Madame Leona from the Haunted Mansion, which we all knew. And I had seen the movie Mike's Haunted Mansion Daily the night previous podcast. But what happened last night was even more bizarre. Look who just walked in. Oh my God, Jolly, too hard to get upstairs. Everybody's there. Oh my God, what happened last night? Last night, so I was at work doing my part-time job, and they had some buns in the fridge because they had, sometimes radio stations get these cool little added benefit things where a client that's advertising on the station, let's say they're a restaurant, they bring food by. And a barbecue place had brought food by like 2 nights ago, and there were still a bunch of buns in the fridge. So I said I was going to heat up some buns in the toaster. Well, I thought everything was going well, and in fact I had heated up something else. I was eating that, and then all of a sudden I hear this noise like an alarm, but it's like far away, and I'm looking around because we have an alarm that goes off if there's any dead air on the radio station, and I'm checking the radio stations. They're fine. And I'm like, I open the door outside to the hallway. We're in a building, and there's the alarms going off, the fire alarms. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a fire alarm. Aw. And I go over to the toaster, and there's like a tiny little bit of smoke, but I guess it had set off the alarms for the entire building. So when the fire department showed up, I had to bring them up and show them what happened, and they're like, oh, no problem. Smoke's cleared. We're out of here. Bye. This happens all the time. Oh, I felt like such a doofus. Mike Matthews, you are a doofus. Oh, okay. Look who else just walked in. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere the engineer. Floyd, are you okay? Yeah. I think I have a cold, though. Oh, that means I'm going to get one. Mike, you know, that's what happens when you have a very highly sensitive fire alarm system in your building. But that's also good because then you won't get fires in your building. Yes, I guess so. Hey, you know what's going on in Africa? Well, among many things, Facebook Inc. is launching a mobile app that gives the users in Zambia free access to a handful of online services on mobile phones, broadening an effort to boost internet usage in underdeveloped countries. This according to Reuters. The Internet.org app will offer, in partnership with wireless operator Airtel, more than a dozen services, including Wikipedia. Let the mass dissemination of uneducation happen. Or misinformation. Well, Wikipedia. Sometimes they get it right. Websites devoted to weather is going to also be on this app, job listings and health information, as well as Facebook's, of course, own social network and messaging service. Facebook will not pay Airtel for the bandwidth, but Airtel will benefit as users who are exposed to internet services eventually decide to pay for broader unrestricted access. The move comes as Facebook steps up investments in its Internet.org project, which seeks to connect the next 5 billion users to the internet, many of whom live in places like Africa and India. In March, Facebook announced plans to use drones and satellites to deliver internet connectivity to people in certain parts of the world. As you may have heard, Google has their, and I think I've talked about this on the show during, I think it was a Wow Shuts Wow segment, about how they have launched the balloons up into the air to try and spread Wi-Fi around the world. What do you think about all this? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. Do you love the internet? Yes, well, of course you do, because you're using it right now to listen to the show. But what do you think about this whole Facebook and they're using internet.org apps to take over the world? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email. Also, email me there if you would like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. And yes, we also have links at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com to all kinds of cool things, including where to find us on iTunes, and comment and rank the show in iTunes, and that helps us out. More people find out about us if you do that. Also, there are links to where to find us on Facebook. Like the Facebook page, and when I post a new show, share it with your friends, and more people will find out about us that way as well. There's also the Amazon deal of the day. Click on that and buy something, and we get a little bit of some support from that as well. There's also links to where to find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Mixcloud, Yelp, Tumblr, Twitter. We got the blog and the daily podcast picture there at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, and all my past interviews are there too.
Into an interview.
Yay, my favorite.
I'm speaking to Dead Cat Hat, the wonderful Pato Milo, Alan Canume, and Steve Glover. Pato does guitar and vocals, so does Alan, and Steve drums. And tell me about the festival you guys played for like 5 hours at.
Well, which one?
There's a lot of them.
We do a lot of festivals. Was that
might be Fish Stock?
Fish Stock? Well, Fish Stock is the one we've done twice already.
Fish Stock.
Yes, it's a festival. Our friend that we kind of jam at.
Well, it's Thomas Yates. Thomas Yates is an artist who he was kind of known in the 50s and 60s doing comic books, and he's throwing this thing up in Jenner, and that festival, and we played at the Yacht Club in Vallejo for their big the Great Vallejo Race, which has about 1,000 people show up on 300 boats. And so they come home tired and wet and soggy, and then we just play at them all night.
So they can get drunk to some music.
We do. Well, you're bringing up something. I mean, festivals. I mean, we play everything from like punk clubs, like the Stork down in Oakland or whatever, to like we'll play yacht clubs. We've played galleries, right? In Oakland,
yes, art galleries.
Regular rock clubs, and this tiny pub we play here in Benicia. I mean, there's just not a lot. I mean, we'll play weddings. We'll play divorces, we'll play funerals, whatever you got, man.
Actually, I think the first time I saw you play, Pato, before the duet, was a swap, like some thrift swap meet in Vallejo. I was like, what the hell?
It was a fundraiser for the Mira Theater.
Just came back from Seattle. I was like, right on. Hey, you do what you got to do, and it sounded great.
So is that the most interesting place you've ever played, or is there something that tops that?
Oh,
Starry Plow.
Good question. I don't know.
Our best show ever was Starry Plow. That's
really?
That's not even an opinion.
I've even played Starry Plow at the open mic. One song and I got the hell out. But I love that place.
I did that once also. It was nerve wracking because everybody was so awesome there.
Well, last year we were finishing up making our record. It was like October, and we played with the Oakland, Mission Creek.
That was another festival.
That thing. Yeah, we ended up headlining it. I think we were with 13 Button Trousers and another kind of Americana band. And it was a good time, good room. Yeah, we like that.
Yeah, it was a good room, and we got bumped up. We got bumped up to headlining, right? Was that the situation?
Yeah.
Where we ended up playing last, and we had all the crowds from all the other bands play, which was kind of what we're kind of in the market for right now. It's just getting heard.
We're kind of an opening band, So it was kind of weird for us to be at the end of the night. Like, wow, right on.
And who comes on after us? Oh, that was it.
Right.
And tell me, Pato, about the kegers you did in Danville.
Oh, Jesus,
that one. Yeah, well, Third Space.
I was a kid back in the 80s, and there was this big building called, it was Forney's Ranch. And, they had about 20 kegers at one time we played there. It started a big riot. But, growing up as a kid in the suburbs like I did, there's no clubs. We just, the parents will go off to Tahoe, and kids would get about 100 of us together and have a big jam, and then the cops would show up at midnight, kick us out. That's kind of how I cut my teeth with a band called Slow Children at Play.
And you seem, Pato, to wear a lot of interesting hats.
Yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Do you have a haberdasher?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Do you? Do you, sir?
No, but I asked this guy I talked to last week, JT Mudd, about, because he also wears bizarre hats. I mean, not that your hats are bizarre, but they stand out.
They are.
But he also did not have a haberdasher, so I just wanted to use the word haberdasher, okay?
Yeah, look that up.
What kind of hat do you wear? Like
I'm wearing like a captain's hat. I think it's a lieutenant's hat, Navy lieutenant or something like that.
At the yacht club.
Cover up the dome.
They don't even notice. It's a yacht club. It's a naval hat. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's totally weird. But
and the thank you for the strange phone message greeting.
Oh, did you use it?
No, I haven't used it yet.
Ah, man. Well, if you want me to change it, let me know. What happened is we got a little keyboard vocoder a couple weeks ago, and so we were screwing around. I started just making my friends like outgoing phone messages. So what the hell? And we got. I gave one to Sarah Sexton. She's starting to be a nice friend of ours here now. She does booking over in Oakland for Oakland Indie Mayhem and stuff like that.
And I'm impressed with all the social indie media that you guys are on. I was like listening to all these shows I'd never heard of before, and they were interviewing you, and you were playing live. And
cool. I'm glad you checked those out. I'm always wondering if people do.
Those are all on your website.
Yes, exactly.
deadcathat.com.
Well, we'll have to put this one on there too.
Oh, woo! I'm honored.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, definitely.
Of course.
Any of you ever hear the album by John Mellencamp called Lonesome Jubilee?
No.
I think my ex-girlfriend used to play that album, but I've never really sat down and listened to it.
Just because it had accordion in it, and I thought,
yes, and that violin player's on it too.
Oh yeah,
that's her name. Super famous violin player.
And
I've probably heard songs from it.
It had that Cherry Bomb song.
Yeah.
And Groovin' was groovin'.
That's right.
And Paper and Fire.
That's good too. And accordions don't really show up. I think the Decemberists have some accordion and Go-Go Bordello. And I don't know. I still don't know how they're miking their accordions to keep them from feeding back,
The Boy in the Bubble by Paul Simon.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a dark day, and the sun was sitting at the... Okay. Everybody, tell me one last thing. Let's talk to Pato, Alan, and Steve individually. Pato, what is something you would like to tell the world through Mike's Daily Podcast?
Oh, geez. Well, look for us. If you're a band and you're looking for someone to come open for you, give us a call. We're just looking for shows, trying to open for other people's bands as much as we can. And we get out. We see a lot of bands, and we know a handful of bands. We've got some favorite, people we like to go see, and we're hitting them up saying, "Hey, let's do a show together." But that's just kind of where we're at. We're kind of been at this for a long time. But we also kind of feel like we're living on the moon way out here in Benicia. So, it's not like we're bumping into all the bands down at the cafe or something or getting high down in Oakland or something. We're way out here. So, anything we can do to try to get a show, we work hard at that.
How about you, Alan? Any words of wisdom to the world?
Well, Mike, in space, nobody can hear you scream.
In my space, nobody can hear me scream.
In my space, there's nothing but cobwebs. What is that? I have a friend who tells a joke about MySpace, and he says, I tried to check my thing, and I tried to put a post on there, and it echoed. So, I just want to say Weird Al Yankovic is awesome.
Oh, yes. Talking
and
about
Word Crimes is my favorite new song.
It is the best song. Thank you, Steve.
I'm going to learn the whole song because grammar is awesome.
My jaw literally fell out of my face when I watched that video. I could not believe that. Taking blurred lines and making the spoof, but talking about all the horrible word crimes that people have been doing on their stupid cell phones and on the internet. Because we're writing more than ever as a society, right? But we're writing wrong. It's annoying. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, there's no such thing as different than.
Different than. What? Do you remember the lyric in that particular part of?
Oh no, okay. I don't. I only heard it twice now, but it's my favorite new song, so I will learn it.
Of course, Weird Al used the accordion many, many times.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Speaking of accordions,
Bonnie's not here this morning. She's off teaching music summer camp as a trombone player, and horn player. She's kind of a badass with the kids, so she's doing that. And I think Jay's still asleep somewhere. I think, were you guys going to get into some board games this afternoon?
D&D.
Oh yeah, we're gonna play some D&D later.
I haven't played since middle school.
Yes.
I did not read the rule book, so I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Oh, what fun!
I think the other night we all played Catan.
Oh, yeah.
Settlers of Catan.
Settlers of Catan.
We're nerding out, and I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we're Benicia, man. We're nerds.
So tell me about...
Never mind.
Tell me about Orbit's End.
Orbit's End. Well, it was kind of... started off as like a...
board game?
Yeah, I wish. Cool. I wish that'd be awesome.
It's about breaking up with the...
No, I was listening to Major Tom, and
Earth,
Space Oddity. Oh. It was one of those nights.
Ground control.
And I think I came up. When I lived in San Francisco, this was way a long time ago, before Seattle. In the Mission, I had a guitar and I had a loft space. It was like a laundry room. And I would just go on these trips of listening to Bowie and listening to like old 80s stuff. And I go underneath my bed, it was on a lock, it was like 6 feet high. And I just come up with these riffs because I had nothing to play. I wasn't in a band at the time, or I left bands at that time. And I would just come up with these riffs. And I never did anything with them. So when I moved to Seattle, with all the rain and all the spare time you have indoors, I just put 2 of those riffs together. And, I remembered when I came up with it. And it was, I like to think of it, and it might be self-serving to think of it this way, but I like to think of it as like a continuation of, like, if there was a second song, like what happened to Major Tom? Like whatever happened to that guy?
He died.
Like if there was like the prequel, or just some extra DVD extras,
the catharsis.
I like to think, like that.
I thought that's what Ashes to Ashes is by David Bowie.
Oh, maybe.
My mother said to get things done, you better not mess with Major Tom.
That's right. Something, Major Tom,
Get things done.
Ashes to ashes, funk to funky.
Well, it's not really that specific either. It's, I love space. I've always, since I was a kid, was into, how the whole light, the diffraction, of the light, and how to measure stars and all that crap, which I am not educated in, but I'm just fascinated by. So,
and you have the NASA transmission going on in this.
Yes.
All right, yeah. Well,
and it's
we ripped that off of YouTube. We didn't actually go to NASA and record that ourselves.
Oh, okay.
But
in the 60s, we didn't do that.
Yeah, well, it's from the 60s, and it's communication, I think, between Neil Armstrong and them. And it's just inaudible, and I think I like that about the 60s. Like, how do these people, it's like CB transmission when you hear it when you're a kid. It's like, how the hell do these people understand what they're, saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in that song, and it's the one you want to, you start your mushrooms at the beginning of the record. By the time that song kicks in, you're going places. It's got a lot of, it'll take you
And I love the drum beat on that, too. That's great.
Thank you.
And Alan,
I never listened to the another version of it. I just sort of tried to figure something out, and we worked it out, and it was fun. It's my favorite song.
And Alan is singing this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. So let's play Orbit's End, and it's Dead Cat Hat. And find out more about them at deadcathat.com. They're on Bandcamp and Reverb Nation and all over, right?
You name it, whatever. Yeah.
The Book of Faces.
iTunes. Yeah, we do a lot of our activity on Facebook because it just seems like everyone's on there, so it'd be pointless not to do that.
Facebook.com/deadcatat.
Yes.
Sure.
That sounds right.
Okay.
Maybe it's Dead Cat Hat Band. I forget.
All right, just type in Dead Cat Hat.
Sorry.
And it will appear. And Station Change is the name of the album. So it's Dead Cat Hat. Thank you, Pato, Alan, and Steve.
Hey, thanks for having us. Let us know when you're back in town. And we're going to try to set something up in the next couple of weeks in Oakland, somewhere in the East Bay. We're going to try to get a show together.
Oh, excellent. I will be there with bells on, with my hat on. But I'd love to go up there and see you at Colin's Tannery Pub, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dead Cat Hat on Mike's Daily Podcast. Yay!
Thanks for having us.
Mike.
orbit's end. It's Dead Cat Hat. Find out more about them at deadcathat.com. Thank you again for being on the show, guys, as we go outside of the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And the picture is of Alan, Pato, and Steve when they were talking to me using their recording apparatus. We were talking to each other back and forth, and they looked like they're from some kind of German silent movie, science fiction type thing. So you can see that picture now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Mike, I want to tell y'all that I was poorly represented earlier in this show. I do not have a screechy voice. Benita, I'm so sorry. Yes, I hope you accept my apology. Hey, hi, Chely. How y'all doing? I'm like so good, especially when you're around, Benita, because you're like so beautiful. Thanks. Wow. Mutual Admiration Society right here, right now. Tomorrow it'll be the return of the segment News Random. Plus we will hear from Benita. She'll be back. No, I won't. Oh, you're right. You won't be. Wait. Yeah, you will. It'll be Benita, the disgruntled fiddle player, and the brewmaster tomorrow.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!